Sir.
Good morning.
I'm going to return to the home in a minute, but I want to ask you some very specific questions about some of the specific evidence that you testified to yesterday. Yesterday, you were asked about Exhibit 248 that you described as white powder residue on the portion of the rug that was labeled 16-7. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
And this white powder residue, that has nothing to do with what we were talking about on cross-examination about this white coloring or discoloration up in the second floor bedroom, correct? That's completely different.
Yes, completely different.
And I think I heard you say on direct examination that the white powder residue on Exhibit 248 had been sent out to another unit?
Yes.
Examination?
Correct.
And was that the arson unit of the?
Yes.
And right now, as you sit here, do you know what that white powder was?
Yes.
And what was it?
From what I recall from the report, it was baking powder.
Okay, it's baking powder. And Mr. Sheehan, you've seen photographs of the rug that was found in Peavy in the dumpster area, and you've seen photographs where there are additional clumps of what appears to be baking soda or some other substance, correct?
Correct.
And if you know, on those other portions of the rug where you see those clumps, is it your assessment that that's also baking powder?
I don't know. It was not tested.
You would agree, wouldn't you, with me, Mr. Sheehan, that throughout the home that was searched in Cohasset, that not only was there certain items seized that may have been opened, for instance, bottles or containers found in the basement, but there was also items that appeared to be never opened or ever used, correct?
In regards to what bottles?
Like
what bottles are you talking about?
Well, I'm actually talking about some of the cleaning items that were located in the basement, the mops, brooms, buckets, pails, some of those having the label of Lowe's. They didn't appear to have been used for any reason.
Correct.
And so, if you recall, you testified yesterday about a cabinet that was up above the refrigerator in the kitchen, and you said that in that cabinet there was a knife and also a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, correct?
Correct.
And was that hydrogen peroxide that was found in that cabinet up in the kitchen above the refrigerator, had that been opened?
Not that I recall.
Okay. So it's fair to say, without going down an exhaustive list, that there were numerous items found in Cohasset that had apparently never been used for any purpose. They were still, in the lack of a better phrase, brand new, unused condition.
From what I recall, but I didn't specifically look at each and every item.
Okay. It's fair to say, isn't it, that in an investigation like this, you're looking for red-brown stains because you told us on direct examination that you were looking for blood, correct?
Yes.
And it's fair to say that in no report that you wrote did you ever use the phrase blood spatter or anything similar to blood splatter, correct?
Correct.
And so it's fair to say that you did not determine that what you saw anywhere in the house was indicative of blood spatter evidence, correct?
That is correct.
And if you can, sir, can you tell the jury briefly, or in your own words, what you consider to be, as a forensic specialist, blood spatter evidence?
Blood spatter in general is blood in flight.
And it results from somebody, perhaps, stabbing someone with a knife, and in the movement of the knife, blood evidence flies off the knife and spatters onto a surface, correct?
Yes.
And then when you see blood spatter, then you would analyze it and you would look for directionality and things like that to determine the directionality of the blood flowing from an instrument, correct?
I wouldn't be doing that. It would be a assigned bloodstain analyst. It would be done in the lab, however, just not by me.
All right, and I apologize. I really wasn't implying that you would do it, but in describing what blood spatter is, you would agree that that's what some analysts that may examine biological evidence found at the scene, that they would analyze it in that way. They would look for directionality and things like that.
Yes.
And there was nothing in this home that you're aware of that could be described as a blood spatter evidence.
That is correct.
You were also asked questions yesterday on direct examination about luminol toward the end, the very end of the direct examination, correct?
Yes.
And you gave a brief definition for the jurors of what luminol is, correct?
Correct.
You saw no evidence of any container that had contained anything like luminol in the Cohasset home, did you?
Correct.
And in fact, you have no evidence that luminol was ever used in the home in Cohasset by anyone, correct?
Correct.
I want to ask you something a little bit about this testing, the instrument that you used for testing. Yesterday, you referred to swab K in Exhibit 216, photograph 1066. If I could have, if you don't mind, Exhibit 216, Ms. Gilman. And those are the swabs that you would then use, that you collected from some of the basement floor stains, the A through G, correct?
Yes.
And could I now have Exhibit 217, photograph 1067? That, what we saw yesterday is, that is a Ceretech instrument, so to speak, that the Mass State Police uses to then analyze something like a stain you would find on the floor, like you did in the basement, to determine if it was blood, correct?
Correct.
And is that, can you tell the jury, when you talked about screening tests and confirmatory tests, was that the screening test or a confirmatory test?
This is the confirmatory test.
Now, there are certain protocols that you, as a forensic analyst, have to use the Ceretech product, right?
Yes.
And without going into it, I think it's fair to say, and you tell me if I'm wrong, whenever you use that instrument, you used it correctly, didn't you?
Yes.
And you don't have any reason to believe that the results that you relied on in testing the biological evidence in this case, that the evidence that flowed from this Ceretech instrument was erroneous, correct?
Correct.
You would agree, wouldn't you, that these instruments are very sensitive, correct?
Yes.
And the protocols actually suggest in using this instrument that you shouldn't use a liquid that is undiluted because it may overwhelm the instrument. So you dilute it, correct?
Correct.
In fact, the sensitivity of the Ceretech HEM instrument that you used, by the way, HEM, H-E-M, does that stand for hemoglobin?
It is I believe so. I'm not sure if it stands for hemoglobin or not.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. That is the substance of the blood that this testing instrument is testing for, correct?
Yes.
And it's sensitive to the point that it can determine the presence of hemoglobin at the quantity of 20 nanograms per milliliter. That's what it says in the protocols, right?
It sounds correct. I would have to review the protocol.
Okay. And just as I'm going to look for that, I'll just ask you this. 20 nanograms per milliliter. I'm correct, aren't I, that a nanogram is 1/billionth of a gram?
Yes.
So 20 nanograms is simply 20 billionths of a gram, correct?
Correct.
That is, and I'm not a scientist like you, but that's a pretty small amount of substance, isn't it?
Yes.
It's something that you can't even see with just your plain old eyes, right?
Correct.
So it's fair to say that in checking this home for blood evidence, that you were using an instrument that if you swabbed an area of the home, you could detect the presence of hemoglobin if it only was there in the amount of 20 nanograms per milliliter, correct?
Correct.
And the only place in this home in Cohasset that you found anything of blood evidence of significance were those areas you told us about in the basement, correct?
Correct.
May I approach you?
You may.
You mentioned the protocols and that it sounded right when I said 20 nanograms per milliliter. I'm just going to show you page 2 of the protocols. Just ask you to read it to yourself. And after having done that, if you could just look up and tell me you read it. Are you ready?
Yes.
So, having reviewed that document, do you recognize that document as protocols applicable to the blood testing instrument we've been talking about?
That is the protocol that comes with the Ceretech card itself. We also have internal lab protocols that we follow for the specific testing.
You will agree that the protocol that I just showed you, though, does specifically state that the sensitivity of this instrument is at 20 nanograms per milliliter, correct?
Yes.
So, when you collect biological evidence at the scene at Cohasset, you're not trying to quantify what it is you're finding, correct?
Correct.
So it can be a very tiny amount, correct?
Yes.
And that tiny amount, and we're talking about something of 20 nanograms per milliliter, you didn't find anything even in the amount of 20 nanograms per milliliter in that upstairs bedroom we talked about yesterday, correct?
Correct.
And it's fair to say as we moved through the house, you didn't find anything, a minuscule amount of biological evidence of hemoglobin on the stairway, correct?
Correct.
Nor did you find it in the living room area that you examined, correct?
Yes.
Yes, no, you did not find it.
Correct.
That's fine, it's my fault. And you did not find it anywhere in the kitchen area, correct?
Correct.
So somebody can try to clean a floor, and somebody can try to clean a bathroom area. But if they leave something as small as 20 nanograms per milliliter of biological evidence, this instrument that you rely on could detect it, correct?
Theoretically, yes.
Could I have exhibit number 97, please? You see the rug in exhibit 97?
Yes.
Is it your opinion that that rug is the rug that you testified to yesterday?
It looks similar, but I can't confirm if it is or not.
And do you recognize the room that that rug is in with the fireplace?
Yes, this looks like the first floor living room.
Okay, and that's the room that you examined, correct?
I did not do a full examination. It was one of those areas that I did a brief visual exam as I was walking through to the second floor and first floor.
All right, if you can take down exhibit 97. Thank you, Ms. Gilbert. In any event, when you went into that living room, whether you made a cursory inspection, and no one told you could only spend a little bit of time in the living room, that's fair to say, right?
Correct.
You could spend as long as you needed to find whatever it was you were looking for, and that was blood, right?
Yes.
And you could have torn up the floor in the living room like they did up in the second floor room if you had any reason to believe that there was blood or biological evidence in that living room, correct?
Correct.
And you could look for what we just talked about, the blood spatter evidence on the fireplace that we see in Exhibit 97. You could do all those things. But what happened was when you went through the living room, you saw nothing that gave you pause to look at that room for biological evidence other than walking through it, looking, and then moving on to another area, correct?
Correct.
And that rug that is seen in Exhibit 97 lying on the floor there was simply no evidence on the floor area in front of the fireplace that there was any biological evidence of any significance. And when you, right, let me cut that off, right?
Correct.
And when you were examining that area, and was that on January 9th or January 8th?
January 8th.
So when you were examining that area on January 8th, that rug wasn't there, was it?
Correct.
So that entire floor was in plain view, wasn't it?
Yes.
And it'd be pretty easy, wouldn't it, for you or any one of your colleagues to examine that particular area of the floor to see if there was any biological evidence on the floor where that was evidence, right? And you testified yesterday extensively on direct examination that there are numerous parts of pieces of rug that you examined, and you told the jury about the red-brown stain you saw on that rug and those pieces, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever, as one of the forensic scientists involved in this case, did you ever piece together the fragments of the rug that you testified to yesterday?
I did not. That would not be my unit if it was requested for analysis.
Do you know if anybody did in the Mass State Police crime?
Not that I'm aware of.
I want to turn your attention now briefly to the knife that you testified to yesterday that was found in the cabinet above the refrigerator, okay? And if we can have Exhibit 201, please, Ms. Gilman. Once again, that's the cabinet, correct?
Yes.
And inside that cabinet, you found a knife, correct?
Correct.
And inside that cabinet, we see various items, including boxes, what appears to be bottles of hydrogen peroxide.
Yes.
And we also see can you tell the jury what they see in the right side of Exhibit 201, another container with a red label and white lid on it?
That is hydrogen peroxide wipes.
Okay. And were those wipes also in apparent brand new condition? They hadn't been opened?
Don't recall.
Okay. Could we have Exhibit 202, Ms. Gilman? And if I may, do you know, Mr. Sheehan, if then when someone was taking this photograph, if that is the exact condition of how the knife was found?
Yes, it is.
And that was after someone removed, and I say someone like one of your colleagues, they removed that bottle of hydrogen peroxide and those wipes.
Yes.
You told us yesterday that there was a screening test conducted on that knife, correct?
Yes.
But there was no confirmatory test, correct?
Correct.
It's fair to say then that you, as you sit here today, you can't tell us whether whatever you characterized as screening test results as possible blood, you don't know if it's blood or not, do you?
That is correct.
And since you didn't do a confirmatory test, you certainly can't tell us that it was blood, correct?
Correct.
And you told us that on item number 1-8, which is the knife, Exhibit 215, that you otherwise didn't see any visible stains, correct?
Correct.
So is it fair to say, if I understand your testimony from yesterday, that on this knife that was found above our refrigerator, you neither saw any visible stains, red blood stains, and you don't know what it was on the preliminary screening test, whether it was blood or not, correct?
Correct. It was only a screening test positive.
And if you know, Mr. Sheehan, that sample that you collected from that knife was never subjected to any further testing.
Correct.
So there is no evidence whatsoever that that knife had any biological substance on it like blood at all, right?
Aside from the positive screening test, no.
But the screen test doesn't tell us it's blood.
That is correct.
If I could have, Ms. Gilman, Exhibit 208. Yesterday, you see that photograph, Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
And you described that as the bottom basement step in the Cohasset home, correct?
Correct.
Do you know how that step came to become broken, or however you want to characterize it?
I was notified that someone, when they were doing a preliminary search around the house, had stepped on it and it broke.
Okay. And so you don't know if it was cracked before that person you just described actually then completely broke this stair, do you?
I don't.
You have no idea, as you sit here today, what condition that stair was in when it then thereafter was reported as being broken by, I'm just going to say, one of your colleagues or one of the Mass State Police people?
Correct.
But you did say that there was a blood stain that's indicated there on the bottom piece of wood lying on the concrete floor.
It was a red-brown stain. I did not do confirmatory testing in the lab on this one.
Okay. So we don't know if that stain is indicative of blood or not.
It is indicative of blood, but so it had screened positive, but no confirmatory testing was done.
Okay, but you can't, it could be blood though.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us, Mr. Sheehan, that who specifically from the Mass State Police Crime Lab, other criminalists, were there examining the home on January 8th and January 9th?
On January 9th, briefly, Davis Gould was there before he had went to do the Volvo and to do the examination at the trash collection site.
And also, do you know a trooper named Stephanie Devlin?
Yes.
And she was there, correct?
Correct. She's assigned to the crime scene services section. She's the one that took majority of the photos.
All right. And she was involved in also not only taking the photos, but was she also involved in conducting and assisting in conducting latent print examination?
Yes.
And who else was there?
I would have to refer to my notes. There was a large amount of people there from both the crime scene services section and the detective unit.
Do you know of anyone named Sullivan?
Heather Sullivan?
Well, there's two, I guess. Heather Sullivan. Tell us about Heather Sullivan.
She was assigned to the crime scene services section, and I believe she was the one who took photos of everything at the trash collection site.
Okay. Are you familiar with any other Sullivan who is a trooper that was at the scene examining the home at Cohasset?
Not off the top of my head.
All right. And could you just estimate, as the best you can from your memory, how many people from the Mass State Police were there examining the home? Let's start on January 8th.
I would approximate about 10.
Okay. And how about January 9th? Once again, we understand it's an approximation.
I'd say about 15.
And it's fair to say that both on January 8th and January 9th, that those people were there for all day doing their work, correct?
Correct.
And their work included looking for any evidence and examining every single room in that house for it, correct?
Correct.
When you differentiate between the crime lab and crime scene services, can you just briefly, once again, tell the jury the difference between the two units?
So the crime scene services section is essentially the sworn division of criminalistics. They do all of the testing for fingerprints and any type of impression evidence, as well as documentation with both photo and video. We are both criminalistics and crime scene services are under the umbrella of the crime lab.
So they're trained professionals with combined years of experience looking for any and everything that could be significant in the investigation of a case, correct? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And when you're working with groups like that, number of people, 5, 10, is it fair to say that when you get together at a crime scene or where you think a crime was committed, you collaborate, you talk with each other about what you saw or what you might not see? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And it's fair to say that in the course of an investigation like this, you would then review perhaps your colleagues' reports or their notes, so you have a better idea of the entire scope of the investigation.
Correct.
And You rely on those reports, don't you, to be accurate and to reflect what was found at a scene, correct?
Yes.
And so there's something called field notes that you and your colleagues fill out, correct?
Yes.
And those field notes are handwritten, correct?
Yes.
And what you do is and tell me if I'm wrong, you fill out specific things in handwriting as you're making observations, or shortly thereafter, and then later on you take those handwritten notes and you put them into a typewritten report, correct?
Correct.
And those field notes are included in the file and the case-related file, the criminalist file, the CSS file, regarding a particular case like this one, correct?
Correct.
Now, yesterday, I asked you if you were aware of that in one or more rooms, if baseboards have been removed to examine a particular room, correct?
Correct.
And I apologize. I implied that it was one of your reports. You said, I don't remember that.
I believe so.
But it's fair to say that, based on your review of your colleagues' notes of examining this Cohasset home, in fact, the notes, and field notes, and the reports do indicate, at least in some instances, that baseboards of certain rooms were removed as you and your colleagues were searching for any evidence of biological evidence.
Objection.
I'll see you at the side of the bench.
Judge, before I ask this next question, I think maybe I come to sidebar.
Yes, you may.
Mr. Sheehan, you told us a moment ago that you do collaborate with your fellow colleagues at a scene like this,
Yes.
and that you do review their reports and their notes so you get a better picture of the entire scope of the investigation, correct?
Correct.
And you said you acknowledge that you know who Trooper Devlin is, correct?
Correct.
And did you, in fact, review her reports in conjunction with all your other colleagues' reports specific to the examination of the home at Cohasset?
Yes.
And it would be pretty important, wouldn't it, Mr. Sheehan, for you to look at something in this particular home, Cohasset home, on January 9th, and it would be important to you to know that that's something like discoloration on the floor that you observed on January 9th had not been observed there on January 8th. Would that be important to you in assessing the scope of the evidence that was being looked at?
In regards to my examination, I don't believe so.
Okay. Do you recall reviewing Trooper Devlin's notes regarding whether the discoloration on the second floor bedroom was not seen on January 8th?
I would have to actually review her notes again. I definitely reviewed her report, but in terms of her actual field notes, I did not review.
May I approach you?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Sheehan, I'm showing you a two-page report. Can you just tell us if that report indicates whose report it was?
Yes, it does.
And whose report is it?
Trooper Stephanie Devlin.
And that would be one of the reports that you just told the jury that it would be one of the reports you'd review in the context of the investigation you did.
Yes.
And I would ask you, if you would, sir, to read to yourself this second numbered paragraph. Just read it to yourself and then look up and tell us when you're done.
Okay.
Does Trooper Devlin's report indicate that the discoloration that was observed on January 9th was not observed on January 8th up in the second bedroom?
As to that form sustained,
Does the content of that second paragraph of Trooper Devlin's report refresh your recollection about whether the discoloration in the second floor bedroom upstairs was not seen on January 8th, but was seen on January 9th?
In terms of her report, I did not visualize the bedroom on the first day, so I can't say for certain if it was there or not. I would have to go by her report.
So her report does not refresh your recollection?
Correct.
I want to focus now your attention on what was described yesterday as dark gray slippers, item number 9-27. If I could have Ms. Gilman exhibit 230. You recognize that, don't you, Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
And that is an item that has been marked as 9-27?
That is correct.
And you described for the jury yesterday that there was red-brown stains on both sides, correct?
Correct.
Top and bottom, correct?
Yes.
And you went into some detail on direct examination describing how you took pains to try to collect samples from the interior of Exhibit 230, item 927, to try to find, quote, skin cells. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you were purposefully trying to avoid collecting red blood cells, or collect samples from what you perceive to be red blood cells. I'm sorry, red blood stains.
Yes.
You actually used the word control. Do you remember that?
I don't.
Okay. You did use the phrase to avoid, quote, cross-contamination, correct?
Yes.
What did you mean by cross-contamination?
During a sample collection, if there are visible red-brown stains in an area, I would try to avoid that when collecting for potential recovery of skin cells. Knowing that these red-brown stains could be potentially blood, I wanted to avoid combining a skin cell collection with a blood collection.
And what was the purpose then of trying to collect, quote, skin cells, epithelial cells?
The skin cells themselves would help identify a person who would have been using the item or wearing them, how they would normally be worn.
And you have no direct knowledge of how of who these slippers are, do you?
I don't.
And you have no direct knowledge how any of the red-brown staining came to be onto this Exhibit 230, do you?
I don't.
And do you, in fact, know, Mr. Sheehan, exactly where these dark gray slippers were found?
I don't recall which trash bag, but they were recovered from the trash collection site.
And so do you know what specific bag these slippers were found in?
No, I don't.
And I'll just ask this. We understand. You then can't tell the jury what other items were found in the same bag that these slippers were found in, correct?
Correct. I would have to review the case file.
You are aware of the fact that a number of bags, black bags, were found at a dumpster site in Peabody, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever go to that dump site?
I did not.
And you are aware of the fact that there was a compactor. Aside from the dumpster, there was a compactor that was also searched that resulted in the bags being found, correct?
Yes.
And a compactor is different than just a dumpster bin. It's a compactor that pushes items and condenses them into a smaller physical size so it can collect more trash or garbage or debris, correct?
Correct.
So it's fair to say, isn't it, that when you're concerned for cross-contamination, and you were taking pains, as a forensic analyst would, to try to avoid cross-contamination, it's fair to say that when things are put into a bag and compressed by a compactor, they are pressed together with whatever else is in that same bag, correct?
Objection.
Overruled.
Correct.
And so when they are pressed together in a compactor, they are pushed together and they can then be cross-contaminated, correct?
Objection.
You can answer it.
Correct.
And so when you look at these items as a forensic analyst, and you did so, when you see something like hair that may have been attached to an item like the slippers, you have no idea if that hair was on the slipper when it was put into the bag, or if it came to be on the slipper because of the compression that resulted from being compressed by compactor.
That is correct.
So I guess the question, the next question is this. When we look at these photographs of various pieces of evidence, like these gray slippers, the dark gray slippers, and other pieces of evidence that you look at, the photographs are not representative of how that item may have appeared before it was placed in a bag, correct?
Correct.
As to that, form sustained.
The photographs do not depict how an item the photographs that have been placed into evidence of certain items may not depict the condition that a particular item was in prior to being deposited in the black bag.
Correct.
Could you take that down, Ms. Gilman? Thank you very much. And yesterday you testified to some hair that you examined, correct?
Correct.
And with regard to Exhibit 232, you examined 2 of the hair fibers that you found, correct?
Yes, from item number, I believe it was 9-18. Sorry, 9-28.
9-28,
Yeah.
yes. And one of the 2 hairs that you examined, you determined was consistent with human hair, correct?
Yes.
And then the other hair you examined was consistent with animal hair, correct?
Yes.
And are you aware, Mr. Sheehan, that, I've been calling you Mr. Sheehan. You're not a trooper, are you?
Correct.
Okay, so I've been right.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Are you aware of the fact that there was an animal that also resided at the Cohasset home?
Yes.
During this period of time?
Yes.
And and are you aware of where this hair that you were examining, Exhibit 232, was found in the Cohasset home?
From what I recall, it was found from the trash area.
Okay. The trash area of Peabody?
The trash collection site.
Okay. And you also told the jurors yesterday about another exhibit of hair, Exhibit 250, correct?
Which exhibit is that?
That was a hair clump?
The item number was 16-12.
Okay, could we have Exhibit 250? Is that the item 16-12?
Yes.
And that would be Exhibit 250?
Yes.
And the hair found in this exhibit, what is that substance that we see in the photograph?
I do not know.
So it was never examined?
No.
And, of course, it'd be very important to determine if that substance that we see in this exhibit, if that substance that the hair rests on was skin tissue or anything of the sort, right?
Visually, it did not have any visual similarities to skin tissue.
Okay. So there's no question in your mind, as a forensic analyst, that that has anything to do with someone's skin tissue. But as you sit here today, you don't even know what it is.
Correct.
And the fact that we saw an exhibit, and it's Exhibit 233. Could we have Exhibit 233, please? This exhibit was indicative of Exhibit 232, and it's the hair that you described as consistent with human hair, correct?
Correct.
And it's the root section, correct?
Yes.
And you'd agree, wouldn't you, that a hair that contains the root, that hair falls out naturally, correct?
Yes, it does.
And there's nothing to indicate nefarious about the fact that there is a root attached to this hair?
Correct.
It's just the fact that when you examined this, you examined it with the protocols that you use, and you made a determination based on its structure, as the term you used, that it was consistent with human hair, correct?
Yes.
When you use that phrase, consistent with human hair or consistent with animal hair, what you're saying is you can't say positively that it's human hair, but it's consistent, correct?
With this root, you can confirm it's a human hair. If it did not have a root, it would have to be consistent with.
Okay. With regards now to these various items and tools that you testified to yesterday, and I'm talking about the hacksaw and the hammer and things like that, correct?
Yes.
All of what they told this jury, without repeating the labor, all of that is, it's fair to say that you're unaware of exactly where those tools were found, other than they were found in that compactor dumpster area, correct?
Correct.
And as you sit here today, you're not sure what particular bags those tools were found in, correct?
Correct.
And so, even though you detected the presence of red brown stains and determined that some of those stains had hemoglobin in them, you can't tell the jury how that biological evidence came to be on each and every one of those tools. You just can tell us there was biological evidence on those tools, correct?
That is correct.
And once again, the biological evidence that you detected on those tools could have been on any one tool or more, could have been deposited as a result of transfer, correct? Or, as you called it, cross-contamination, correct?
That is correct.
Let me just ask you a couple of questions about the testimony regarding a hatch that you testified to about yesterday, right?
Yes.
You did detect something that you described as greasy or oily film or something on that hatch, right?
Yes.
You never did examine what that greasy or oily film was, correct?
Correct.
You never did any further testing of anything on the surface of that hatchet with regard to the greasy or oily residue that you saw to determine if, in fact, it was an oily residue that was deposited on a tool to prevent it from rusting or things like that, correct?
The testing that I did was the screening test for blood, and it was in the same area as the hatchet head.
But other than that, other than trying to determine if there was a presence of biological evidence, you did not specifically try to determine what the greasy, oily residue was. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And you certainly didn't, well, I shouldn't put it that way. You didn't take any effort to try to go to a particular store, find the exact same tool, and see if that tool contained a greasy, oily residue, did you?
I did not.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Sheehan, do you test all areas of a potential scene?
I do not.
Did you test all areas of 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway?
No.
Why not?
I tried to identify the most forensically relevant areas and move from there.
And what are the reasons that testing could be negative?
It's possible that a particular biological substance was not present, and it's also possible that it was present at some point, was cleaned off, or it is present and to the point where it is not detectable by the tests.
So how does cleaning a house impact your ability to find blood or trace materials?
If it was thoroughly cleaned, I would imagine the test results would be negative.
Does washing the walls impact your ability to find blood?
Yes, it does.
What type of cleaning materials would impact your ability to find blood or trace materials?
Virtually any type of cleaning material, bleach, alcohol, ammonia, anything, even water if it dilutes the sample to an extensive amount.
Would hydrogen peroxide impact your ability to find blood or trace materials?
Yes.
Are there other ways that blood can be destroyed or diluted?
Really any type of cleaning materials, as well as environmental factors such as extreme heat.
Did you test? Actually, if I could have published for the jury, Your Honor, Exhibit 21. Well, that's not the right exhibit. One moment. Do you recognize that room?
Yes, this is the living room.
And this is the living room from when you were there during the search warrant. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what do you recognize in front of the fireplace?
There is some looks to be a repair work around the brick, as well as a carpet.
So there was a carpet there when you were there over the hardwood floor on January 8th and 9th of 2023. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that is not the carpet that you tested in the lab. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Do you know what the objects looked like before they went into the bags that we just talked about, that you talked about on cross-examination?
I don't.
And do you know what the objects looked like if they went into the compactor at all?
I don't.
So do you know where those bags went?
The bags were, as far as I know, the bags were recovered from the trash site. I'm not sure where exactly they were recovered from before that.
I might have one moment.
You may.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Any recross?
Just a couple of questions. When you looked at Exhibit 21 just now, you said you described that fireplace as having what looked like a repair work, right?
Yes.
Did you examine it?
I did not.
Would you agree that also what's depicted in Exhibit 21 could be foam that's taped around the fireplace to prevent a small child from hitting their head on the corner of brickwork? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Thank you.
The witness may step down.